Hello, it's Tuesday, and I have changed up my schedule for the weekend and week because I was working on my Quilt As You Go spinners, which is my first quarter UFO with Crazy Moose. This pattern came from Creative Notions in a subscription box. So I was on a roll, and I decided to just continue while I had numbers in my head and was figuring out what I was doing. So here it is. There it is. This is the front of Spinners, and this was done as a Quilt As You Go. The kit from Creative Notions in their subscription box, this was the large kit, contained all of the material that you needed for the top and the binding, to include the background. And this is what I have left. So I will say Creative Notions is very generous with their fabric. And it's really spectacular having the background provided, because that's a lot of fabric that you have to find yourself if you don't have that included in the kit. So this pattern went together very well. The instructions were awesome, and it was a fun project. So I did the back with 8-inch. So each block was done separately. It's a 10.5-inch unfinished block. I had to make a little bit bigger than that for the backing block fabric. So I used 8-inch scraps from my bin and used 3 pieces of the 8-inch block for each block. Center block was an 8-inch square, and then I cut the other 2 diagonally and made them the same color, same fabric, and then sewed those around the edges of the center square. So that used up some of my 8-inch squares, not a lot, but some. And so that kind of made it into a reversible. So I used the sashing in between here is in the rows, you can't see it, is the background fabric. And then I also used some of the pattern fabric to break up the sashing so it doesn't look sashed. It looks more of a one-piece kind of quilt top. And I used, they had a little bit of a, so their sashing was 2 inches unfinished. My sashing was 1 inch unfinished, which means it's a 1/2 inch, and theirs was an inch finished. So mine is 52 by 52. Their pattern was going to be finishing at 56 by 56. So mine's a little bit smaller. I will show you the back. And that is what the back looks like. I used a kind of maroonish burgundy material for the back binding strips, for sashing strips, and I like how it turned out. So a little bit of a closer up view. So this was all machine quilted. I do hand sew the binding on the back side. I machine sew it on the front side, but the back side. And I think for this type with sashing strips, in the future I might hand sew the sashing on the back. But this is how the front turned out with the sashing strips. So this is a sashing, this is for the rows. And you can see I added a piece here. So this was 16 inches, the white strip, and then this was 3 inches, 1 inch, 3 inch, and then another 16 inches going through there. So this was fun. I didn't kill my shoulders doing this, and I'm very happy with it. So let me know what you think. And that is a finished project, first quarter project finished. All right. Hope you have the rest of the great week, and I'll be updating you later on in the week when I start doing my 1 hour. I did a one hour for the week on this. Now I need to move on to my other projects and get them done for an hour a week, and I'll let you know the progress I have with that. All right, bye.